And we're live.
Hello. How are you, Dan?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Just another normal Monday as far as I'm concerned.
Another day in the office.
Yeah, just typically another day in the office for both of us, no doubt.
Yeah, I've had a great day in the office, I have.
But I am really excited because we get to start a new month, don't we? So we've got a new theme on the go for this month.
New month, new theme, and that's what we do here on the Tommy Reviews YouTube channel. We just turn months into themes because months are actually pretty boring. So, according to this piece of paper, which has got a bit of rusted metal on it from the magnet, we need to fix that, by the way.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Adventure August.
Yep, it's time, and I thought I'd hit the ground running with this one because, I've got to start it with my favourite films of all time, which, of course, is the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Of course it is. We all know this. Tommy wishing to get in trouble with the YouTube police.
That's true, but I just could not resist opening with that one, especially for film one. Never mind, it's stopped now. So I figured let's just kick off and talk about the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which you haven't seen, but you expressed interest in seeing, didn't you? You want to see those.
A lot of people comparing it to Harry Potter for me, and I love those films. So.
Yeah, well, if you like Harry Potter, then you'll love Lord of the Rings, as far as I'm concerned, because I think it's so much better.
Which is weird, because you're the opposite.
Well, I wouldn't say I hate Harry Potter, I just don't think it's as good as Lord of the Rings.
I'm thinking of producer Steve.
Yes.
You carry on. Yeah. Come on, review this puppy.
Okay, so The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, 2001. Being 6 years of age when this film was released, my dad took my two older brothers to see the film first to be sure that it wasn't too scary for me. So
was it? They
came home and said very confidently, it'll be fine, he'll enjoy it. So they went again and took me too, which I'm so grateful for. Not that the Bilbo face change scene did not frighten me. There is a jump scare in this film that, oh my god,
I am glad you warned me about that because I'm really not good with those.
If you ever watch the films, I'm gonna tell you about every single jump scare just so you can enjoy it better.
Yeah, it's a bit like that with Die Hard. Whenever there's blood on the screen, I had someone with me to say, right, eyes shut now.
Yeah, you don't like that blood, do you?
No. Which is weird because obviously on PS1 games, I'd be a menace on that.
But that jump scare is a small price to pay to see the first entry to the greatest trilogy of all time on the big screen. With over 5 years of pre-production and planning, Peter Jackson delivered The Fellowship of the Ring to the big screen with a triumphant burst of appreciation for fantasy and drama. My second favourite of the three films, this one, but it still receives 5 stars status undoubtedly. Peter Jackson's direction, Howard Score's music, and the amount of in-camera battle scenes rightly earns this film its merits.
Which is what we've got going on in the background of our stream here.
It so happens to be the case. Yeah. So it rightly earns its place and its merits as one of the best films ever made that can appeal to all ages. You asked earlier, didn't you? You said, is this film for kids? This film can appeal from 8-year-olds all the way to 80 and beyond. It's that good.
But no younger than that?
Maybe not any younger than that, unless in my instance, I was 6 when I watched it, so,
Yes, but you're not. Yeah.
I'm not scared.
Well, I was going to say something a bit ruder than that, but I thought, no, let's not.
But that's the first film, The Fellowship of the Ring. 5 stars, right there. Now we move on to The Two Towers, rather briefly. So 2002, The Two Towers comes out. The second film in the trilogy was always going to be somewhat sacrificed, considering it does not have a beginning or an end, with it being the bridge film between Fellowship of the Ring and the third film, Return of the King.
Yep.
It's a bit like trying to think of an example for you, maybe Back to the Future Part 2.
Right.
Like that. It doesn't have a beginning and it doesn't have an end, but it's got to be that bridge film between the two.
Yeah. And actually, quite good you bring that film up because obviously we were speaking off air about how this film or the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy was done in 18 months. It was
all filmed back to back, all 3 films in New Zealand over 18 months of filming.
Done, dusted, boom.
That is just a magnificent achievement on its own. But back to The Two Towers, nonetheless, you still have a superb 5-star worthy adventure film that has many standout merits, which marks its value, despite it being my least favourite of the 3.
Right.
I prefer to use the term, it's my third favourite in the trilogy. So that's because I love all 3 so much.
Good way of putting it.
The 2 massive standouts you have in this film are as follows. You have the Battle for Helm's Deep, without question the best battle sequence ever put on film, with a lot of in-camera work, superb miniatures, and cut down to just the precise length needed. Because you've heard that. I'm sure you've heard, like, in certain films, like certain battles, if they go on for too long, you get bored of the action over a while.
You do.
This film just has the right amount. It has the perfect build up to the battle. It has the perfect battle, and it doesn't go on for too long either. And then, of course, we've got one of my favourite characters in the trilogy, Gollum. Have you heard of Gollum?
I've heard of Gollum.
Yep. I know he continues to shine in the third film, but this film is where his character had to earn his appreciation from the audience. Andy Serkis, the actor who portrayed him, and the writers helped craft a character both visually groundbreaking and captivating through the screenplay. So to close, this film proved that the Fellowship of the Ring was not singular lightning in a bottle, and that equal amount of care and commitment was given to all three films on this extraordinary project that will live as long as film lives. So therefore that, too, Dan, gets a 5-star rating from me, without question. And now we move on to the third film, Return of the King, which just so happens to be my favourite film of all time.
Funny enough, I remember that being the most raved title of the film.
It is. It's just like, and I'm going to be frank here. I'm sparing you, Dan, because I've actually wrote 2 reviews for this film over the years.
Right.
And I'm going for the shorter one for your benefit.
That is a risk for you.
Because on my longer one, I've actually broken down every single character. There's like over 30 characters in this film, and I've broken down every single character and talked about them individually.
That's overkill. And we'll tell you in a moment, guys, on YouTube, how to get to read that, because it's easy boffin.
So on to Return of the King, my favourite film of all time. Film 1 and Film 2 are jointly the crown, but the Return of the King is the jewel in the crown.
Nice.
Peter Jackson spent over 8 years of pre-production, principal photography and post-production to get to this stunning cinematic finale. To call it a masterpiece would be an understatement in my opinion, as no film teaches you life lessons, impacts your emotions and balances the epic and the personal so powerfully. Some people consider the ending to go on for too long. It takes like 45 minutes to end after the plot is finished. But considering
that would bore me, actually.
But considering there are 3 movies and over a dozen storylines to tie up, I think it achieves that wonderfully. And if you just put up with it, and you're still invested in the story and the characters, it really is worth it.
Which I will be. I'm a story kind of guy.
Yeah, you will. I guarantee you, by that point, once the climax of the film is over, and then you have the denouement, which is slang or film term for the epilogue of the film. But I honestly don't think it's a problem. Like you care about these characters by the end of the story. Trust me, you really do.
I love that.
So to close, I would say watch the first 2 films, which also reach 5-star status, then settle down for this film to take you on an emotional and epic roller coaster that has stood the test of time and swept the Academy Awards in the process. This film won every single Academy Award it was nominated for. It holds the record for that with 2 other films, Ben-Hur from the 1960s and Titanic, which I'm sure you've heard of.
Oh yeah, I've watched Titanic loads.
Yeah. So it's on that scale of quality. If you've seen Titanic, you know all about that.
Some high standards right there.
This film is a truly cinematic masterpiece of the highest order. This film is about the one ring to rule them all. This film is the one film to rule them all, and that's how I'm going to end it, because 5 stars all round as far as I'm concerned, Dan. This trilogy is a masterpiece. My favourite films of all time, never to be matched again, in my opinion. The bar was set way too high.
Superb.
Yep. And
5-star sweep.
5-star sweep. So technically it's 15 stars.
Technically, yes.
Yeah, so technically it's 15 stars on this rare occasion. But usually I wouldn't review trilogies altogether, but because this trilogy was filmed together, they were filmed as one.
Filmed together, reviewed together.
To me, this film is a 9-hour epic, and it just so happens to be split into 3 different parts as far as I'm concerned.
9 hours, yeah.
But 15 stars to that holy trilogy, let me tell you.
Well, I have to tell to you, Mr. and Mrs. YouTube, you can get Tommy's full reviews on this, more than we packed in here, over on Letterboxd. Tommy.
Larkins95, feel free to follow.
Go follow him. And like, comment, subscribe to this.
Yes.
yes, please do.
Please do, yeah.
We're live every Monday night. Tommy. A great kick-off for Adventure August.
I had to go kick it off in big style, Dan. Like I'm hitting the ground running with this one. I've got to see what else I can think up for the rest of the month now, because I've kind of, I've
everything's
peaked.
now going to be lower than this.
It is, but still, nonetheless, just as fun.
Love it. Well, Tommy, thank you very much as always.
No worries, Dan. Great to see you again.